It is what
we're
it is.
just gonna go there.
It's right beneath the surface.
I feel like I was ganged up on here. The guests were chosen unfairly.
It swung
We've
this
got
way.
two
It's coming
Godzilla
back.
t-shirts on right now, and you have Godzilla in the background. Like, I have Nathan Drake. That's it. That's what I have.
Well, that's kind of
I
ironic
still have
because Nathan Drake just shit all over Godzilla, so it's
Yeah.
payback time. It's payback
Speaking
time.
of which, hey everybody, welcome to the Replayer Podcast. My name is Pagan, and I'm your host this week. And joining me, as always, is my co-host Dan.
What's up, everyone?
Oh, hi.
Hi.
There. How are you? Hi.
Oh,
Joining us for the very first time are brand new replayers to the show, but not new replayers to the series.
new
But new
replayers
replayers on the podcast.
to the podcast.
Bo and Hoot, welcome.
Welcome, guys.
Hey.
Welcome. So essentially giving you the rundown, this is just shooting the shit. We're just having the crack, and we will talk about a lot of stuff that happened this week on Retro Replay, including trailer talk, Godzilla vs. Kong, and then the Retro Replay episode that aired on Thursday where they played Hitman. So yeah, let's get cracking. Firstly, welcome guys to the show.
This is classic replayer podcast.
Classic Replayer Podcast.
Get to know your replayers.
Welcome. Yeah. God, we haven't had like new replayers on here for such a while, so we're gonna be like super noobs at this again, and we're gonna ask you guys a few questions.
What do we ask? What is your security number?
Yeah. What is your Google address?
What's your
What
Google
is your name?
email?
What is your favorite color? Blue. No, red. Oh.
See, you got that.
Monty Python. So good. Bo, welcome to the show. Where are you calling in from? Where are you from today?
The middle of nowhere. It's absolute middle of
Excellent.
nowhere. So it wouldn't even bother to tell you. I'm very close to Hershey, so where all the chocolate comes from.
Would
Closest.
you say
Oh.
that's Monster Island?
Yes, I'm coming from Monster Island.
Is that close
Kaiju
to elsewhere?
Kingdom.
I feel like it's very close to elsewhere.
It's close to parts unknown.
Parts unknown. Holy shit, I've only just realized the amount of Godzilla crap that you have.
Crap.
Oh,
How dare you?
are we gonna get into it this early? I thought we'd wait till a little bit.
we're about to throw down. We're about to throw down, but no, I'm just kidding. You have some sick icons and everything behind you. You've got like little figurines, and are they magazines? Are they comic books?
There are comic books. There's posters, lots of figures, because
Bush?
I'm always buying figures. So
Mm-hmm.
Figures is really a thing, huh? Like people really collect.
yeah, I'm an
those.
addict. I have a problem.
You mean
Hi,
like this?
I'm Bo, and I have a problem.
Oh,
Part
hi,
of it
Bo.
here.
Welcome to
So
the
you
show,
have-
Bo.
You have a big lizard in your backyard.
Pretty-
Amazing. Bo, how long have you been a fan of Retro Replayer? How did you come to find the show?
Well, it was around the beginning. It was actually my brother and I, and then I didn't know about like the whole YouTube subscriptions back then. So it was about like season 2 or level 2, I should say. And then I had subscribed by that point and got to know people. So that was when I kind of more got in. I was watching the episodes, but not live or anything.
Sorry, I almost choked to myself.
Oh,
Don't die on us
that
here.
sounds dirty.
Oh God. Yeah, that sounds real dirty. Yeah, well, that's kind of cool. So you kind of came in around level 2.
Yeah.
So Nolan and Troy were still on the couch.
Yeah.
And then obviously COVID hit. Whoosh, the beginning of level
It
3.
all blew up.
And it all blew up.
All blew up. Nah. No, it was always cool. Once I got to the subscription part, it was always cool then, because there's all the different like sub packs of fans, but there's always been a few people to be welcoming. Whether it was you guys or someone else, there's always usually a person that greets the new people.
Mm.
And that was kind of cool. So it's kind of starts out cool right away.
Cool.
It was definitely
I
like
think,
Janine for me back in the day.
Yeah,
really?
she was one of them. There was about 2 or 3 people. She was one of them.
For sure. I think Janine and Panda, I think, really
Mhm.
welcomed me. And then they sent me the Discord link and everything. And it's kind of how it all spiraled from there, and that's how we started this show.
Yep.
But yeah, that's a good point, Bo. I think like this community is very welcoming to new members as well. Anybody who's new that's in the chat, I love seeing that too. Like you'll see a brand new person be like, "Hey, it's my first live chat, or it's my first premiere," and a lot of members will hop straight on that, be like, "Hey, welcome to the show," blah blah blah. You know.
Yeah. There's always at least a
join.
couple people who take it upon themselves to do that, which is cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm sorry.
Pagan,
My brain
podcasting.
froze. My brain froze when he was saying that, and I was like, "Wow."
Again,
Oh.
where am I again?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So now
I
we
wish
should
I had
ask
better
Hoot a
excuses
question.
about this. I will. I'll be asking Hoot a question. Oh, fine. Hoot, where are you from?
Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh, are you guys there? Are you
Yep.
in North Carolina still?
Yep.
How did I not know that?
Well, because I'm wearing the wrong shirt.
That's fair. That is
Yeah.
fair. You are wearing an excellent t-shirt. And I believe that's Godzilla. Is that Godzilla?
It is.
It's kind of Godzilla.
It's a
It's kind of Godzilla.
What do they call that when they take some caricature type thing?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
It's, in fact, my caricature of Godzilla.
Your shirt is actually merch.
It is your shirt, isn't it?
That is my merch for my channel.
Where
Gotta-
can
represent.
anybody get one though? Like, is that on Streamlabs? Like, can they find it on your Twitch or something?
Yeah, that shirt is through my own Streamlabs merch channel for Stark Evil Vash.
There you go.
So-
Find it over
You
on
want
Twitch,
it.
folks.
If you want yourself
you know
a
you
cute
want
little
it.
Goji shirt is what it's called.
Goji.
The Goji tee.
Oh, it's so
Give
cute.
Daniel all your money.
Yeah.
It's the
Do
It
that.
Looks Like Godzilla shirt. Please don't sue Dan. It's the It Looks Like Godzilla shirt. Let's,
Exactly.
Wait, can we
It's
do
not
that? Can we
Zilla.
can we get away with that kind of thing?
easy, Toho, easy.
We can now. We can
Right?
now. Right? It's just like,
Toho.
fuck.
The guys at
Fine.
Toho are all just like, oh, where's this?
That son of a bitch.
Dan.
As it's spelled Stark Evil Vash, get on that. Get on that. Oh, well, thank you so much for joining us today, guys.
Mhm.
How did you find the show? How did you find Retro Replay?
Oh yeah, I can't even exactly remember. I got Steph here, so she's kind of my fact checker for me. But did you introduce me to Retro Replay, or did I introduce you to Retro Replay?
I introduced you, but we found it at the same time.
Okay, yeah, we
Oh, okay, cool.
kind of like I gave up on Muggle TV like several years ago,
Ugly TV, that's great.
A
and
great way
so
to put it.
and so it tends everything for me tended to be either subscription services or YouTube, and just looking up finding things on YouTube. Of course, the algorithm then says, hey, you might like this kind of thing, and so I think I kind of stumbled across Retro Replay that way, and then just kind of fell into it from there. Really, it was just like, wow, this is like hanging out with my buddies from the old days, kind of thing. Like,
Aw.
sitting around in the basement playing video games and bullshitting.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
So it kind of started off early. I think it was probably right when they first hit YouTube.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
So
Back
both
in
of
the
you are
day.
more or less like long-term replayers. Have been around for
OG.
a while.
Yeah.
Definitely OG.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's right.
OG.
That's right. Also, for anybody wondering, the mysterious voice you heard off camera was Jacori or Stephanie, who helps with the website and who has also been previously on our show many times. We love you as well. Come back to the show.
Steph Watson.
Yeah. Yeah, cool, guys. Thank you so much. What we'll do then is, I guess we'll start with. We're gonna
Deep breaths.
You're like,
Let's go. Yeah, let it out. Let it out.
I guess we'll start with Godzilla versus Kong trailer talk. Trailer talk aired this Tuesday, and we discussed Godzilla versus Kong.
For those who
I will
don't know,
admit-
the
Yeah,
trailer
for
talk
those who
was
don't
not
know.
well received.
Yeah, I will say, listen,
You should have
We're
pulled
not-
the
we're-
Snyder Cut thing for that episode. You should have been like, yeah, this looks great.
PJ was the Snyder Cut version of that. Like, PJ was the me in the Snyder Cut. PJ was like, this looks like an interesting trailer. I might go see it. I like Godzilla. So that was great. I have to, like, not a disclaimer or anything, but just FYI, the episode was shot quite quickly. We were on a bit of a time crunch, so I felt like maybe there just wasn't enough time for us to go really in depth with it. But I mean, it's Godzilla versus Kong. You know what I mean? Like, it does what it says on the tin. It's
Mhm.
you're gonna
It's a
go see the
fun
movie.
blockbuster,
And-
it's just
Yeah,
smash and grab kind of action movie.
yeah. It's just gonna look. This movie looks like it's a fun time.
As it
It
should
looks like
be.
you're gonna have
Mhm.
a fun time. It's not gonna win any awards. It's not gonna be the best movie of all time, but it looks like you could have fun. It's the same thing that I feel about, oh god, Avengers. So,
Wait,
oh
what?
gosh, oh god,
I was
Oh.
so close. I was ready to give you a pass for trailer talk.
I'm so
Ooh.
sorry.
Why did you do that
I
to me?
don't know.
You didn't walk away
Infinity
with
War
the
and
meaning of life and
Endgame.
everything.
I
Oh
know.
my
Infinity
God.
War in particular.
42?
Listen, it's just like you're gonna have a good time. It's probably not gonna be the most amazing, life-changing movie ever, but you're gonna have a good time
Okay.
with this. And you are so right, Dan. It was not well received. I actually, like, I was saying this before we started recording, but I think Trailer Talk is probably the most controversial show that Retro Replay has put out so far. So, what did you guys think?
Of the
Bo?
show or of the
Who's-
trailer? Because I've
Well-
only seen bits of the Trailer Talk show, but I've seen the trailer.
Okay. All right, fair.
So-
Well, what do you? I'm presuming with the Goji shirt that he's a Godzilla fan. So, how did you like the trailer for Godzilla?
Well, I'll tell you
versus
what,
Kong?
man. Daggone trailer, man. Big lizard, big monkey.
Big
I'm all
lizard, big
for it,
monkey.
you know.
Take
Big-
a round,
big-
take a round.
Dago.
Oh man, that time and God and Zilla, he smacked the plane with his tail. It was awesome. And then when the monkey grabbed the chain and he's all like yanking. Yeah, it was good. No,
Like,
honestly,
get him, monkey. You got this.
no, honestly, I feel like this is a film that I would go into and I could walk out and understand quantum physics.
Yes, fair. Or the meaning of life.
And well, that is quantum
They
physics.
must
Yeah,
have to
that's-
It's
explain
all
quantum
interlayered.
physics to
Very true,
justify
very true.
how Kong is able to like block Godzilla's
Big-
blast with like a random piece of stone.
Right? Big lizard, big monkey,
It's
quantum
Godzilla.
physics, meaning of life.
Yeah.
No, honestly, no. I saw it and I was like, as a grown adult, I was like, this is crazy. This is just another power money grab for, selling products to kids. And then the kid version of me was like,
Super excited.
so yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, fair.
Wow.
Yeah, I just want to, I grew up on this stuff, so seeing it fall into modern special effects and that sort of thing, yeah, it makes me happy.
So I
I
would
look forward to it.
I would assume
Good.
that you've seen the most recent Godzilla movies within the legendary cinematic universe of Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and Kong.
Oh,
I have not seen. I've seen Kong. I've seen the original. Well, the newest version in the trilogy that they're
The
building.
2014.
I have not seen the second Godzilla film,
That's King of the Monsters.
King of the. I have not seen King of the Monsters yet.
Hmm.
But
I haven't seen any of them, so
I'm looking forward.
Bo's gonna die. No, good. I mean, listen, if you're a Godzilla fan, if you've grown up on this, like Paul even grew up on this and loved like the original Kong and stuff like that, and was like, yeah, sounds fun. But I think this movie will appeal to you if you're a fan of either one of those like
I sure hope
monster
so.
stories. I guess like chosen. Yeah, I'm sure of so.
Because myself
Talk
as
to
a
me.
Godzilla fan, I've truly enjoyed the 2014 King of the Monsters and Kong films that are set inside this new universe, this cinematic
Mhm.
universe. Because
They've
that's what
done well.
Legendary was going for. They acquired the rights and licenses to Godzilla and Kong back in like I think 2011 or 12, and they had it road mapped back then that they were going to make a Godzilla movie and a Kong movie, and then they were going to do a Godzilla versus
None
Kong.
of versus, yeah.
That was 9-10 years ago that they had that planned out, and it's finally coming to fruition. And the previous 3 films have given me faith that they're giving some true respects to the original content and what fans want. The trailer is a little misleading.
Oh.
So
Mhm.
The trailer brings those two letters that you got to worry about in the picture. WB. They love screwing shit up.
True that. True that.
I'll continue. Get to that later.
Let's
Right.
go back a little ways. The original Kong versus Godzilla, the Japanese film that was made in 1968.
Let's
I have to
Google.
double check my year on that. That's this Godzilla
Yeah.
right here. That was the
Oh,
Japanese
yeah.
made film.
Big mouth Godzilla.
Godzilla versus
wide.
Kong. And in that movie, to me as a child and a fan of the series, I never felt that that movie had a definitive victor.
Nope.
62.
Nope.
1962.
Mhm.
62. All right, I was off a few years, but the
That's
movie ended very open-ended with like you don't know who won. You just see Kong swimming away and Godzilla just kind of disappears. There was no Godzilla or Kong standing on top of the other one with their foot on their chest, you know, victory kind of thing. So
This looks really familiar. I feel like I've seen this.
I'm hard pressed to assume that something dissimilar
Well-
will happen with that new film.
So what we kind of spoiled in the little pre-show talk is that the thought back then was that they couldn't put Godzilla over Kong because Kong was the more established character at that point.
Mhm.
And the worldwide audience knew Kong more than they knew Godzilla because there was only a few Godzilla movies and they were pretty much central to Japan with the exception of the dubs and stuff that made it to America, but it wasn't as established. But let's
The
not
funny
forget
thing
some
with
of,
that comment, though, is Kong had one movie. By that point, Godzilla had several movies.
Yes, and his character had changed over the course of those movies as
True.
well. So there's the context.
Oh, I
of the-
agree.
The culture involved.
I disagree with the idea behind it. I agree. I mean, and we've got to think at that point there were a lot of wild Godzilla ideas. I'm assuming you've both heard of the scrapped Batman versus Godzilla.
It
I
sounds
feel like I
familiar.
heard about it years
come-
ago, but
It was like early 60s. It was Adam West era Batman.
Ooh.
Nobody
Oh.
knows if that was actually gonna. No, like shark repellent
Wow.
Batman. was
Oh,
supposed to
Shark
fight
Repellent
Godzilla.
Batman was
Shark
great.
Batman versus Godzilla.
click. Yeah, hand me the kaiju repellent bat spray.
Would have it been weird? Would have it been weird? Yes. Would have it probably ended up being some kind of cult thing? Probably. Probably.
Whoa.
It's almost sad that that doesn't exist.
Yeah. I must agree.
Yeah, actually, I mean, I would watch it. If it was Batman versus Godzilla, I would fucking watch that show.
Well,
It's
one of the
Batman.
things that with the characters, and when I say the characters, I mean the big critters here,
Aha.
was
The big critters.
was Godzilla, or not Godzilla, King Kong in the original movie was actually a very sympathetic character. I mean, as
Yeah.
far as the character portrayal was concerned, it was kind of
Mhm.
like big guy, a king on his own island, taken out of his environment, now victim to the wants and greed of the society he's been pulled into, dies defending his love. I mean, yeah, it was a monster movie, but the monster was the most sympathetic character in many ways.
Mhm.
Oh, and there's the famous quote
Yeah,
at the end
for
of the
sure.
original movie of like what killed the beast, and
Right.
like they're talking about like they're basically saying that man is the bigger monster at the end of that
Yes.
movie.
Like that was
Yeah.
kind of the message. Whereas in the original Godzilla film, it was really more of an allegory to, at least in my mind, was an allegory to unleashing nuclear energy
Nuclear
on the world,
warfare.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's right.
and the untold, unforeseen consequences of such.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So the character he's not really sympathetic. He's more of a don't go down this path kind
Yeah.
of a character.
It's said in a lot of the original
Yes,
writing
for
about
sure.
that movie too
Yeah.
that Godzilla was a like you said, an allegory for the nuclear bomb.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we dropped a bomb, this thing mutated, and now it's out of control. We have unleashed a force into the universe that we have no control over.
Mhm.
But then over the course of the next decade, his character became more and more sympathetic. and even anthropomorphized into, almost an anti-hero.
Mhm.
So by the time they did Godzilla versus Kong, both of those characters were on even ground.
Mm.
You see what I mean? Like Godzilla was no longer just this evil force unleashed onto the world. He was, he had a kid by then, I think. I don't even remember. When did the
Son of
getting that wrong.
Godzilla, I think, was later.
Was it later?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Okay.
that movie was one of the more in like the later, closer to like the 70s era.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was before that was like shortly before the reboots.
Yeah.
Or the first kind of.
And in that portrayal of Godzilla, he was very softened. Even like the character model, if like compared to like this Godzilla to the one in Son of Godzilla, he had much softer features.
Yeah.
He was much more like, he was very motherly almost in that movie.
Yeah. And so, like, at least in the trailer for the new film that I've seen, which I actually have it pulled up right here, but I'm probably going to watch it. If I do this a
Hurry.
whole lot, it's probably because I'm just like, ooh, big monster. But
Oh man.
so at this point now, they're both kind of on equal ground. I mean, at least based on the first Godzilla remake film that came out, what was it? Was it 14, 15?
Of the
14.
news series, yes, 2014.
15, I think.
It was
Where
2014.
it's like he doesn't hate people, he doesn't really like people, but he's not there to hurt people,
Right.
As opposed to sort of some of the earlier portrayals,
Right.
or as opposed to the later portrayals where it was like Godzilla's a giant, big, scaly teddy bear that we all love. This new portrayal seems to be kind of more in the middle ground. Whereas Kong is obviously being portrayed much more as being closer to people because he's a hominid. I mean, he's a multi-ton, gigantic hominid, but we share some commonality with that character.
That's right.
So,
I think like with Kong, it's like with a lot of people who are Team Kong, I think it's easier to be Team Kong because of the familiarity with like a humanoid. Do you know what I mean? Like having something like Kong who represents, I guess, man and beast within man is interesting. And then like there's a gentleness about him. There's a sympathetic side. You're kind of like, okay, well, I see that now. Like we need to treat.
Oh, it looks like he has words.
Like such a strong anti-lizard movement here. It's really terrible.
No, listen. That's just the truth. It's easier to sympathize with King Kong because he has a familiarity to us. Because not only are we comparing him to ourselves, we have seen apes in real life, the gentleness and everything. Obviously, apes are not that very gentle. So I'll
You've seen them
up. I actually
when they reach
know.
out and throw shit at you.
Yeah. No, I know of like the ferocity, I guess, of those apes too. But this is what I meant, and I think like that's a good point that you made, Hoot, because I think that's why I justify having like such a strong King Kong side. I've seen Skull Island, and I saw Peter Jackson's King Kong as well, and I was like, okay, this is good. I like this. I like the fact that there's this giant monster who is just a gentle monster, like he's just trying to protect his own kingdom, and then man comes in and fucks it all up. So I really like that. Whereas Godzilla is like, I'm a big lizard and I shoot laser beams and I'm gonna destroy your city. You know what I mean?
Oh, we've really pigeonholed him there a little bit.
Listen, I'm just dumbing him down to the basics
just like-
there.
But to touch on the character development
Go
thing,
for it.
but like what you had said before, I started out as the allegory about the nuclear war. But with characters in general, the longer they last, it's the opposite of the whole Dark Knight thing. The whole Dark Knight thing is you die the hero or you live to see yourself become the villain. But if you look at characters in any kind of actual characters, movies, it's the other way around. Once you've had an established character for so long, can you make them the villain? You can't make them the villain. It's the same as like I'll liken it to like I'll make an analogy to like wrestling. Longtime wrestlers, can they be the bad guy anymore? They can't be the bad guy anymore because everybody respects them. Longtime characters get respect, and it's hard to make them the villain.
I'm honestly not surprised that you made some sort of comparison to wrestling.
Pull that into
there you go.
wrestling.
Well,
especially.
I mean,
I would pay money to see Godzilla versus Kong if it was the last 45 minutes of a Rocky movie. They can get rid of all the humans and put them on an island. That movie would make as much money as anything they're going to do. I don't care. I don't care about Millie Bobby Brown and her family. Nobody really does.
But that's the case with
outside of the,
like
Yeah.
every
outside of the
Godzilla
Stranger
movie
Things
ever
fans.
made. The
Yes.
human element is always the weakest part of every
Yes.
movie.
Everybody
Yeah.
outside of the Stranger Things fandom does not care about Millie Bobby Brown and her family. Let's just throw that out right now.
Fair.
We'll put the end of the Rocky movie on, and it's 45 minutes, and it'll make millions of dollars, and we'll be good. We'll pay the CGI bill with that alone.
I've just Googled what Mechagodzilla is.
Oh,
That's
my-
fucking hilarious.
Welcome
That's so
to
funny.
Japan, Pagan.
I mean, look,
Yeah.
that looks like, do you remember the Power Rangers?
Hmm.
When they were all
Yeah.
morphed
What do you
together
mean?
and
Do you
like
remember the Power Rangers? The Power Rangers is still a thing.
no, I mean like
All-
back in the day, ones where they would all morph together to create like large
Godzilla
dinosaurs out
versus
of like
Megazord.
machines.
Where do you think they got it from?
That's it. Yeah, that's probably. Yep, actually,
that is
I
exactly.
concede to that. Absolutely, yep, that's true. Yep.
Back at that time period in Japan. Okay, is it okay for me to throw a little history in here? Is it? Or
Go
am I
for
getting
it.
off topic?
No,
okay.
go for it.
Let's see. I was born in the late 70s. My family was stationed in Japan when I was like 2 years old.
Rie and Yokosuka?
Wow, cool.
So my first memories of TV and movies and things like that were Japanese television version of Saturday morning cartoons and Sunday matinees down at the local theater on base. And they used to do like literally just Godzilla marathons. So
Wow.
I've probably seen all of those films, at some of my earliest memories of films are those kind of films. And also things like the Japanese version of Spider-Man, which Spider-Man had a giant flying car
robot
and a giant robot. Giant robots came into a big thing then as a result of Heinlein's Starship Troopers. That's actually a whole different tangent we can go on later. But so that whole thing of Ultraman or Uthudaman, Draimon.
Actually, I can shout out something to assist for anyone listening that finds this interesting. There's the shows that made us on Netflix. There's
yes,
an episode
yeah.
about the Power Rangers, and they actually go pretty deep into exactly that, what you're talking
Oh.
about, and they talk about what was going on culturally in Japan in the 70s and why like giant robots just became a huge thing, and everybody started making things about giant robots.
Yeah. And so that was where you got the things like Power Rangers and Ultraman. And, like you'd have the little people that then grew to be giant people. And all they do is they
Jaguar.
take this. Yeah, they take the
crazy.
same person in a costume and then put them onto a miniature set, with a
That's
couple
crazy.
of flashy light special effects to make them look like they grew. And, that was all a very big thing then. And so that's kind of what I grew up on. So, or at least the earliest versions of things that I grew up on. So
I was
Really
I
cool,
was
man.
right at
That's
the
so
era
cool.
of like original American Power Rangers. So that was like right in my,
mhm.
that was right for me as
Yeah.
a child.
So
So
speaking
when
of
we got
trailer
into-
talk,
Ranger.
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
Yeah.
so who you said you didn't actually watch the trailer talk?
I did not see the trailer talk.
Okay, so
Well, if you like Godzilla, you're probably better off.
here's a summation of that trailer talk. Nolan starts off the bat saying he doesn't like Godzilla. He thinks Kong is better. Then they watch the trailer. Then everybody kind of goes in a row saying this movie looks dumb, except for PJ. And then Drew kind of nerds out about Kong and how much he loves Kong.
True.
Well, that's old cranky Americans for you.
What? Oh.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Zing,
I-
zing.
I'm-
Drew listens to the show.
I'm kidding. I mean,
Well, he's
You're
gonna,
out,
he's
you're
gonna
out.
like the next
Just
He's gonna
part.
be like, I ain't afraid of Drew.
or
No,
am I
honestly,
kidding?
that's actually an accurate summary. I think PJ was all for Godzilla, is excited for this, is interested to see the movie. Drew is just a giant nerd and is super happy about it because he's just gonna go see it because it looks like a good time. It looks like
Yeah.
a good time, and it is. It does look like a good time. This particular movie doesn't appeal to me. I don't like Monster Versus. I've never enjoyed Monster Versus. I like the Kong movies, and when we spoke about Skull Island, I was like, huh, I've never seen that. So since then, I have seen that, and that's
But you
excellent.
enjoyed Kong Skull Island.
Yeah, I really did.
If you liked that film, you would probably enjoy the newer Godzilla films too, because they're very
I don't
similar.
know if I would.
They're
I don't know
very
if I would.
similar.
They're
I am not giving this a chance, and I don't care.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like, yeah, fine. I mean, I'll give it a chance, whatever it is, but Godzilla's never really appealed to me. It just hasn't. And like that's just an honest opinion. If I don't like something, I guess I don't like something. But I do think like watching the trailer, if we were to critique the actual trailer from Trailer Talk, the trailer looks fun. It looks like a good time. It had good music, it had good lighting,
That
it had
being
special
said,
effects.
here's your chance, Pagan, to go into a deeper dive of what you thought of that trailer outside of just, well, I don't like Godzilla. I like Kong.
Yeah. Yeah. So essentially like I said, we were shooting on a very short time frame, and you had to get out your points very quickly. And what I thought about the trailer itself was it looked like an intriguing movie. I guess again, I'm not a big fan of Godzilla. I haven't seen the prequels to this film, except for Skull Island. So I'm a fan of Kong. I agree with what PJ said regarding the size. They've created size well in this film. So you can really see the difference between like a human size compared to Kong and Godzilla. But it looks like a good time. I enjoyed the trailer though. The trailer had nice lighting, special effects. It just, you know what I mean? Like it looked like a punchy little like action film that
Based
you're
on
gonna be
that,
like, yeah, I'll go see this.
Here's a question I have for you now is like, because when you watch like, Dune, Cherry,
Yes.
Snyder Cut, I mean, you're able to look at that and say, wow, this plot looks really interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have any of that whatsoever from the Godzilla versus
God,
Kong
no,
trailer?
absolutely not. I did not care about this plot whatsoever. It's fucking Godzilla versus Kong.
We're allowed to
It's
say
what it says
Snyder
on the
Cut on here. You're not afraid like it's gonna create like the
No,
mass
no.
hysteria.
Not at all. Not from me, anyway.
I don't care.
I
just-
watched
I
the
just
first
deny.
God, so yeah.
Deny.
No, not from the trailer. The trailer doesn't make me go, "Ooh, what an interesting plot! I can't
You
wait
don't
to see
wonder
Godzilla
why
and
Godzilla
Kong
and Kong are
actually
gonna
partner up
fight."
against each other in the fucking end of the film." Yeah. Like it's not going to end like, "Oh, one of them's going to die." Unlikely because sequels and Warner Brothers loves money. So it's like, hey, you like some money? Keep everybody alive. Hey. So likelihood is Kong and Godzilla are going to form some sort of alliance towards the end of the film or something if a new character like Godzilla or something like that is introduced. Right? Okay, that's my theory.
Can we all agree that the real villain of this movie is about 99% sure that little girl touching Kong's like hand, like she's the real villain
I
of
thought
this
the
movie.
same thing.
sure
That
is.
she's
Evil little
actually,
He
bastard.
incites the rage.
Evil
she
little
creeps me
bastard.
out.
Yeah, she creeps me out. I'm feeling a little bit weird about her. I think she's the real villain of the whole movie. Damn kids.
I bet you
Yeah.
in a very Godzilla fashion, she telepathically controls the evil monster.
I can see that.
Maybe,
I can
maybe,
actually
yeah.
see that.
And
Oh,
that
that's
has
okay.
precedent in the older Godzilla films as well.
Mothra
with,
twins-esque type of
Yeah.
deal.
Pagan's just
Well-
like,
Yeah,
Well,
again,
okay.
plot. I'm like, I don't care.
Well,
it just,
okay,
it
well,
looks
Like, I'm gonna go
fun,
get a drink and I'll
special
be right
effects
back.
movie.
And
Well,
Yeah.
let's look at it from a different angle then. Like ultimately, what are these films really all about, right? You've got this big giant monkey, you got the big lizard in your backyard. I'm gonna keep saying that just because that's an old '80s reference. Somebody might get it, maybe they won't. Either way, they might buy the album. Either way, so essentially, the question then becomes like, what are you gonna do, right? Like, what are you gonna do? Big monkey can't nuke it. Big lizard can't nuke it. Big monkey versus big lizard. What can you really do, right?
Right.
So it's essentially you're watching a natural disaster unfold in front of you. So the real story that's being told is about the people's reaction to the disaster, not the motivation of the disaster.
Well, shit.
You know what I mean?
there was literally
And
a line
thus-
of dialogue in the Godzilla 2014 movie where Dr. Serizawa says, "Let them fight," because what
Right.
the humans do does not make a difference to what's happening.
Right. What are you
Yeah.
going to do?
Yeah.
It's an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, and you're just little tiny squishy primates in the way.
True.
Like so
True, all
really
true.
it's all about helping your other little squishy primates get out of the way or taking advantage of the situation. But either way, it's the real story is more about how people deal with a natural disaster than the carnage created by it.
Mhm.
even if that carnage looks glorious in 4G CG or in a beautiful
Yeah.
CGI.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful,
You know.
beautiful destruction.
That's actually
Well, I mean,
a similar notion on a lot of the Godzilla movies too. Even the Shin Godzilla, which was like a rebooting of the character, and that movie, like the original Godzilla, was actually it was supposed to be representation of the tsunami that hit Japan back in like 2012, and how poorly the government handled it. Because that's what that whole movie is about: is how poorly the government just doesn't know what to do.
Natural disaster. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
How did
Thus
you feel
going
about
back
the
to
look
its
of that
roots.
Godzilla?
I have a love-hate
needed a nose
relationship
job,
for
but-
it.
Yeah, it would have been great if the tail looked a little bit less like a penis. But what are you gonna do?
Just leave it at that and move on.
Pagan's making a face right now. Should we like reach back and pull the figure
No,
out
she's
here and prove
Googling
it?
right now. She's like, I need to see the
yeah,
penis tail.
Yeah, Godzilla.
I mean,
penis
of
tail.
course I do. You can't just wave that in front of me and then be like, no, don't Google
Wow, choose your words better,
Yeah.
Pagan.
And I feel like
it. No,
that's kind
I
of-
stick by my phrasing. Thank you. Oh, wow.
It even shoots stuff out of it. They gave him
Wow.
atomic blast out of his tail.
What
Wow.
the fuck is that?
It's a figure
his
of the Shin
penis tail.
The
Godzilla.
figure? Wow.
Wait, let's hold it the right way.
Oh,
here.
I see it. I couldn't quite make out what the long straw like thing is.
It's
so,
like
okay.
fake blast,
like a ray?
fire blast.
Yeah,
out of
that's his
tail.
atomic. That's his atomic blast, and that is something else entirely. Another
That's when he
atomic.
gets a little too excited.
That's excited Godzilla.
Few Lonely Island songs here.
Yeah.
But let's
Yeah.
let's not get too hung up on the movie and ignore the trailer talk part
Oh, yeah.
before we finish this whole thing. 5 against 1. 5 against 1. Kong Godzilla. 5 against 1. And I'm gonna give Pagan a pass because she's lovely. I'm gonna give her a pass. She gets a pass.
Aw, thank
So
you.
we're down to 4 against 1, which is still ridiculous. Let's see. We got a live mic. What are we gonna say?
The rest of them aren't lovely. Did you hear that, Drew?
They're not so lovely. Thank God for PJ. PJ's my hero right now. Let's see. It
Yeah, for
doesn't matter
sure though.
what-
Like,
whatever this movie
yeah.
does, there's only one real outcome. Whether it's Kong from Skull Island, King Kong, Awesome Kong, Aja Kong, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, or the dude that cheated in King of Kong, it ends the same way, no matter what. Atomic blast, drop kick, 1, 2, 3, and that's it. That's
It's not-
it.
Like, there is no way this film ends with either of those characters.
Then
being
it lied
defeated.
to us. It lied
I
to
am
us. if it
telling you
doesn't.
now.
It's
No.
lying to us.
To-
It's gonna end on a cliffhanger. Like,
wanna-
like we said in trailer talk, we're like, it's gonna end on a cliffhanger, and you're gonna be like, oh, great, another movie to look forward to.
To acknowledge
It
something
definitely
the
is.
director said about the movie, he said there's going to be a clear victor in the movie.
Yes, he
He
did.
didn't mean there's only going to be one
Well,
victor.
one clear victor. Yeah, 2 against Mecha Godzilla would
It
be
will
a clear
probably be
victor as
Godzilla
well.
It's
and
hard to do
Kong versus the third big bad.
The third big bad, yeah.
So
Well, and-
Godzilla and Kong will be the victors.
Oh, yeah, that's my theory.
And
yes.
and to touch on the other thing, we had talked a bit about it last night. Is what the other thing the director said was like how he's framing Kong. He was likening Kong to some like Clint Eastwood-esque character. In his mind, he is the old gunslinger. He lived a rough life and he's being dragged
He
into battle.
did.
Dan, you didn't read that one yet, did you?
No, I didn't
I have
read
to
that.
send that. I have to send that to you because it's very interesting. He's likening Kong to like Dirty Harry or some shit. Like it. That's what
I'm
he
wondering
sees
what those
Kong in his
shots that we
mind.
see in the trailer of Kong battling other monsters are going to be flashbacks of him living the rough life.
Yeah, the rough
Mhm.
life that.
The rough life. Oh, Kong did live the rough life. Did we not see Skull Island? His whole family got murdered by the crazy giant lizard thingies.
Yeah, they did.
Mhm.
And now there's
Every-
another giant lizard, and I'm pretty sure Kong will be like enraged when he sees that. Like, not another one of you fuckers, and then just,
So he's kind of like Kong has to deal with his
He's gonna have
racist
PTSD.
bias
yeah,
and his
but also
PTSD
PTSD, yeah.
to come to understand that just because somebody looks kind of lizardy doesn't mean that they're the same as the bad lizards.
Yeah,
Godzilla's pretty
stop,
Maybe.
stop being prejudiced against lizards.
Right.
Trailer
Right.
talk.
Lizards
I'm
are people
sorry.
too.
On behalf of Trailer Talk, I don't apologize.
I don't.
It's their own opinion.
Well,
and they'll say whatever they want to say.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, can we just like call them out right now? Can I call them out? Like,
Go for
we're
it.
here, we're live. Can we get a
Go
live
for it.
debate going on right now?
You want to go call them out? Absolutely. It's not.
I love you. I love you, Nolan, but I'll live debate you on this show or yours in any time.
Nolan got a lot of hate in the comments, and honestly, like, I think like this was definitely one of the most, like I said, controversial.
It'll be
shows
all
that
in
Retro
good
Replay
fun, I
did.
promise.
Yeah, and to be fair, like the comments on this video and the comments versus the Snyder cut, they're actually all very similar. So they're all like, most of them are bad, and some of them are like, oh, Nolan, and it's just shaking my head. And a lot of comments. So I think like it was a fun episode to do. I won't lie. I kind of wish that we had a little bit more time to film the episode so that we could have gone a little bit more in depth into the trailer. But overall, it's pretty good stuff, and I can't wait for you guys to see next week's episode. Stay tuned. Moving on then to this week's episode of Retro Replay, where they got to do, well, I guess they got to play Hitman 3 on PlayStation 5, and they spoke to the wonderful Alison Hayslip.
Woo.
And we even got Uncle Noli back this week.
Did we got a little snippet of Uncle Noli?
A little snippet of Uncle Noli. Yeah, it's listen. I've been waiting for this one because the topics and tangents was probably one of my favorite topics and tangents that I've got to do for the show.
Like the funny town names.
About the funny town names. I could not pass that up. When I saw that that come up on my feed, I was like, oh, this has to be fucking all over Retro Replay. It's so good. Yeah, so I really enjoyed that. That was definitely something I was looking forward to. How did you guys find the show? Bo?
I have not seen it yet because I was studying for this, but
Oh,
Studying.
I have to
Hold
get
on.
around
studying
to
If
up
it.
on
you were
Godzilla for this?
studying for this episode, but didn't watch last.
Yes, Dan.
Well, yeah, but
Sad. Call him out.
I was way more concerned with the other thing.
I
I had to right
understand.
the wrongs before. But Hitman in general, I'm sure I'm gonna love the episode because I think Hitman's super cool. The way those games, the in-depth, like the kill mechanics in those games are ridiculous as far as the amount of ways you can execute kills, the different ways you like. I watch people playing it because I'm not imaginative enough to do the shit that they do myself.
Nolan actually took pretty well to the game too,
You
surprisingly.
did so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not an unaccessible game either. Like you don't have to go about it like the ridiculous over the top ways. You can still play the game with a more kind of grounded approach as far as the kills
I think
go.
that's what worked in his favor, is that the game is meant to be more slower paced. It's not just the constant guns, everything shooting at him kind of thing. So he's able to kind of like
Pace himself.
make his way through the level.
Yeah, because you can make a level take a long time in that game. If you're messing around, like you could be sitting there 45 minutes on one level, just all right, I'm gonna do this side mission and then I'm gonna kill this person in this way. And
It was good. It was a really. I've never played the Hitman games.
Did you catch this one, Hoot?
I have not seen this episode yet. I was going to watch it when we got done here.
No worries. Well, you've got some
Cool.
good catching
Well, we
up to do.
spent our
Like,
whole
it's a
time
really
talking
good.
about Godzilla anyway, so
I mean,
Yeah,
no
it's
spoil,
true.
don't worry about spoiling things for me because
it's all good.
it's,
No, I mean, I
feel
I don't think
free.
there's much to
Speak your
spoil.
minds.
Yeah, there's not much to spoil. It was a really good time. Alison Hayslip, of course, is a dote, and she's just the best. Do you know what? Alison Hayslip, I'm going to throw this out there. I think Alison Hayslip would make a really great co-host.
Oh,
I'm just
for
going to
sure.
throw that
Like,
out there.
I think we
They bounce
talked
off each
about
other
that.
so well. I think so. And
I think-
we actually said it about
because she came out on the
for
Uncharted
the today.
playthrough, right? Was it Uncharted?
Yeah, Uncharted 2.
Yeah.
And she was like, get the treasure. I'm a fucking treasure bitch. You know, like I'm a treasure whore. And I was like, yes. Fucking Alison Hayslip. Yes.
I think we had
Yes.
talked about and theorized that back then too. We were talking about Alison Hayslip and how we would really appreciate her to be either a recurring guest or a bigger part of the show. And
Yeah.
honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if back in the day when they talked about having a female-led show,
Yeah. That
maybe it was
could have been her.
Allison.
Who knows? That would have been awesome though. I would love to see more Allison content on Retro Replay.
Yeah, and maybe that's
she was great.
something they'll put together for us.
Who knows? Who knows? And I think like she got a really good response from everybody else as well. And there was definitely a few of us, like myself included, who weren't quite sure who Alison Haysop was. Like I've heard of her before. And then she came on Uncharted 2 playthrough and we were like, oh my God, she's hilarious. Get her on the show more. Because they bounce off each other so well. And she's got a good relationship with Nolan and with PJ and the crew because of Con Man as well. So her and Felicia
Such
Day
a
are
good
so
show.
great.
Yeah, Con Man is great if you haven't seen it.
That's one I always tell people, like not like within the community, more like other people, like comedy fan, like check that out. That's such a funny show.
Yeah, I think we might do an episode on the podcast of Con Man pretty soon, and we might get PJ involved. PJ and Drew.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
What about you, Dan? What did you like? I mean, the guys didn't see the episode, but how did you find it? What did you?
It was
a
solid episode for sure, and like I said, I enjoyed the whole fucking Austria thing. Was just
so good.
You know, like that's
right?
chef's kiss right there. Like to give you guys some context, they're talking about there's a city. In Austria called fucking.
It's a town.
A town, and they're changing their name because they got tired of people coming and taking pictures in front of the town sign that says fucking.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
I would be all down. I would be one of those people back.
And now they have to change it to fugging, fugging, fugging Austria. And that whole thing was just so, fugging.
Do they really think that that's going to stop people? Like people like me are still going to be there like, I've been fucking Austria.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was
and then
brilliant.
they had they'd done a couple of British towns as well, which was so fucking funny. I honestly, I was crying when I was like writing this up for Nolan to use because I was like, this is gonna be great. I can't wait to see what he does with this. And like often when I'm writing up topics and tangents, I give them a few options and then they'll just pick one or two and run with them and see what they can use out of it. And I'm like, please God, pick this because this is so funny. Like this is one of the funniest things I have seen on
I can appreciate this because I'm from Pennsylvania, a state that has intercourse, blue ball, and bird in hand.
We mentioned that
sex names in the world.
We mentioned in intercourse.
Yeah.
We mentioned intercourse, Pennsylvania. It's so funny.
And the best part is there's like some like, oh, it's an Amish name. I'm like, yeah, it might be an Amish name, but they were definitely thinking the same thing we are. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me.
It just reminds me of that show Schitt's Creek.
Right.
And they,
right?
I'm not far from that area. Only like about an hour, a little bit over an hour. They market the hell out of that shit. They sell mugs, they sell T-shirts, everything. They love it. They got their little I Heart Intercourse shirt. Well, I Heart Intercourse.
Amazing.
In tiny ass letters. Everything else you I Heart Intercourse. Yeah, sure you do. We all do, don't we? What the fuck?
That's amazing. I love that. I just fucking love that shit. I was just a proud moment for me.
Good job, Pagan.
Like,
good job.
You deserve it on that one.
Pat on the back.
Honestly, like, okay, so I searched it. I found and the story generated from the town of fucking Austria to change it to fugging Austria. And that's what the story generated. And I was like, I have seen this name before. Pornhub. Pornhub did a marketing. Pornhub. Here we go. This is retro replayer podcast right here now. This is OG replayer podcast. Pornhub actually did a marketing campaign. Hello, Steph. Yes. You'll definitely.
He came in the perfect part of this conversation.
She's
right?
Like,
Pornhub.
What? Pornhub? You said Pornhub? Free subscription?
Say what?
Sponsorship?
Hit us up.
If I started an OnlyFans, would you sponsor me, Pornhub? Come on. Anyway, they actually did a marketing campaign where they went around to the most ridiculous names in the world of places. So they went to fucking Austria, and they've gone also to places like Duff, I think, Muff in Ireland, so it's MUFF. They've gone to Intercourse. They've gone to like Wet Wang. So funny. But they did this whole marketing campaign where they just traveled across the world to find the sexiest place names, and it was genius. Honestly, Pornhub marketing is beautiful.
Well, we do have Climax in North Carolina.
What?
Whoa, there we go.
Amazing.
My only question is there a professional dive team in Muff? Like, can we
Probably
find that
is,
out?
yes.
Can we
Yes,
find that out?
there probably is.
You got to
I'm
think
not
of
gonna
the
lie to
like
you.
the high school teams,
Yeah. Oh,
Like
like the
Ivy
math
League.
leagues of
What
Muff.
Well, Dan, I don't know if you remember this, but I actually had the damn little newspaper from Intercourse in the Zoom one night.
Oh, did you?
There's I
No
took
way.
one. It is a free newspaper. They had Intercourse News, and there's like birds on it and shit. Like it couldn't be any more obvious what they're trying to say.
Are the birds tits?
Honestly, oh my god, please. Missed
I
opportunity for this.
when I first saw it, I thought it was a rooster. I'm thinking, really? Did you put a cock on the like Intercourse newspaper?
Yes. I think that should be the opening of an Uncle Nolly segment. I just want to see him put down the Intercourse newspaper to look up and talk to us.
I will happily send you one. I will go and acquire this thing.
I
And
just think
if
that's
they don't have it
hilarious.
anymore, I'll send you the one I have.
If I can go back on like
Genius.
the shout out of this episode,
Go for it.
definitely like the Uncle Noli segment and the full on acknowledgement of Uncle Noli. Like, those bastards cut down my time slot. And then it was a quick, short, and sweet Uncle Noli. So we got that little taste of Noli, but then it was like, okay, good, let's move on. And then Nolan playing Hitman, which was a really decent playthrough, and like you had the interaction with Drew,
Yeah.
so that actually worked out really well, I think, even though he was playing a modern game. But it was like, I think it was the older Hitman within the modern game that they were playing. Like, they weren't playing the newest levels,
Oh.
because it said Hitman 1 Absolution, but I think it was
that's probably it then. They have a remastered collection on PlayStation 4, and
Yeah.
that works on PlayStation 5.
but they
Yeah,
could have been
yeah.
playing the Hitman 3's version of that, because I think that's a thing you can do.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
You
that.
can play through like all of because it's like a level based story. You can play through them in the newer games. So if you buy Hitman 3, you can play like the levels to get you up
That's
to
what
that. I think.
That's what I thought. That's what I was wondering, if that's what they were doing in that one. So either way, that was fun. They kept that kind of short and sweet too, and then they had a good focus on Allison and just had the fun riff with her. And then they talked about Allison's new show, the Heart Baby Eggplant, which is a web series that Drew kept saying Heat Baby Eggplant, and I'm like, if you look for Heat Baby Eggplant on YouTube, it's not the same thing.
Probably a bad idea. Gotcha.
But her new
And
show is
we're back
interesting.
to Pornhub.
Yeah, right.
Ah, yes.
But that's kind of the joke of that show of Allison's, where the eggplant is the penis emoji. It's a short series. It's only got about 30 minutes total of like 7 episodes on Amazon Prime or YouTube. I recommend checking it out. It's pretty funny.
Heart baby eggplant. Oh, cute.
Yeah. Cute.
Well, oh wow.
It's not generally what you want to have follow Heart Baby Eggplant. Oh, cute. Oh shit.
It's really more of an aubergine kind of.
Yeah. See, actually, I do call it an aubergine. I don't call it an eggplant.
Mhm.
I genuinely do. Oh man.
Well, I mean, give me a break. Come on, you guys
Yeah.
invented the fucking language. Don't even speak it.
We didn't invent the language. Actually,
Don't blame us. Don't blame me.
no, I didn't. No, I definitely didn't. I was like, actually, my ancestors, and I was like, my ancestors are not English. So no, never mind. I didn't have anything to do with this construction. That's all them. We're gonna wrap it up here, folks. If you guys have socials or anything that you would like to promote, this is a chance to do it towards this end of the show. Bo, do you have anything that you would like to promote or your socials?
Well, why not? Might as well say you can direct all hate mail on Twitter at Bo Yordi is here. Don't hate those guys. Hate me. I said Snyder Cut. You can throw that at me. And
Yeah, just
and
check it his way.
I called everyone out over the Kong thing. So yeah, bring it my way. Bring the hate. I can handle it.
Nice. I will be sure to send you all the hate mail later.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Like even completely unrelated hate.
Yeah,
mail.
Just
unrelated
unrelated
hate mail.
hate mail.
Somebody
Don't worry,
said
I'll
they
answer
all of
all
it.
of it.
really did
personal
not approve of your
response
sweater,
to
sir.
Yeah. The
Fuck
weather
you
today
and your
was shit.
Godzilla toys.
Do something about it. Hoot, what about you? Do you have anything to promote?
Not yet. No, not really. Not yet.
No, your socials or nothings.
No. I've pretty much given up on most social media anyway.
Fair.
Just because I decided it was probably more fun to just sit home and punch myself in the taint.
It actually is.
Taint puncher.
Yes. Then being an hour on Twitter, yeah.
Yeah. So
that is
no,
definitely
I
more
do check in on Twitter from
it.
time to time, but it's really just more to see how everybody else is doing right now.
That's
so.
fair. Cool.
That's right. That's right. We're definitely going to promote the show itself. We're going to promote this show because I'm on it, and we're going to promote Retro Replay because that's where it's from. And
That's right.
Call me, Nolan. I'll do this Godzilla thing all day. Oh, I got so much ammo.
Speaking of retroreplayshow.com, you can find some amazing articles over on retroreplayshow.com. Dan, do you want to tell us a bit about those?
Oh, heck yeah. I just wanted to do a quick shout out for some things. Over on the Retro Replay Show website, there are some featured articles there written by fellow replayers. Hi, Steph.
Steph is curator.
Steph's the curator on the website. So I just wanted to shout out a few of the latest articles that you can find over there. We have Being a Female Game Environment Artist in a Rapidly Changing Landscape by our friend of the show, Candice Bissonette. Candice interviews fellow replayer Caitlin Johnson, who is an environment artist at Sony Santa Monica Studios. And she's working on a little indie game called God of War. You may have heard of it.
Fuck yeah.
I know, man. It's so fucking cool.
Also on there is a article called Gears for Life, or Gears for Years. It's a life-altering story by one Jake Brown. He's also another fellow replayer. Jake tells an amazing story about how the Gears franchise has affected his life. And also we have Why Dauntless is the Best Free Game Alternative to Monster Hunter by Beth Sarber, also a friend of the show. Beth talks about and details why Dauntless is worth checking out if you're a fan of the Monster Hunter series. These are all articles you can find on the retroreplayshow.com, and you can go check them out there and leave a comment. Let those replayers know what you thought of their writing. Thank you.
Absolutely. And if you are a Retro Replay Show member on the YouTube channel and you have not received your invite to sign up to a profile on the retroreplayshow.com website, please do send over your details to members at retroreplayshow.com. You may just have forgotten to fill out the membership form, which is available on the YouTube channel in the membership tab, which is where we'll be able to send you that invite. So if you don't have it and you want to create a profile and you want your membership profile, I guess, on the Retro Replay website, please email members at retroreplayshow.com. That goes for any other questions as well. If you guys have anything like that, please also send it to that email. We'll pop it down below in the description. And if you have any questions for us here at the Replayer Podcast or questions for the crew that you would like to be answered on the Replayer Podcast, you can send them over to the Replayer Podcast at gmail.com. Wait. It's like, just wait. Let me just take a pause. Make sure to stay up to date with all of our content by following us over on social media on Facebook and on Twitter, which is the Replayer Podcast. And that's where we will post up any updates. We also publish our show every Wednesday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and pretty much any other podcasting platform. We also put up the videos on YouTube. So if you're listening right now and you would like to watch the YouTube version of it, you can go head over to the Replayer Podcast on YouTube. Hit like and subscribe. Thank you so much.
That's right. Go to YouTube so you can see all of our toys. I mean, why would you not want the visuals?
The sick background that you've got going on, honestly. But yeah, that's game over, folks. Thank you guys so much for being on the fight.
Game over.